I didn't just quit drinking. I realised very quickly that stopping wasn't the job. After 45 years of drinking, putting the glass down wasn't a relief, it was exposure. Everyone sells the same comforting lie. Once the alcohol's gone, everything gets better. Thing is, it's bullshit, and it's a dangerous lie. Because when you remove the one thing that's numbed you for decades, you don't get peace. You get everything that it was holding back all at once. Emotions with no filter. Old anger you thought was gone. Grief you never dealt with. A nervous system that never learned how to settle. Sobriety didn't calm me down, it turned the volume up. And nobody warned you about that part. Here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Alcohol wasn't just the problem, alcohol was the regulator. Stress, drink. Joy, drink. Boredom, drink. Anger, drink. Silence, fucking yeah, definitely drink. That's not a weakness, that's conditioning. And conditioning doesn't disappear because you make a decision. Think of it like this. Imagine living in a house where the basement has been flooding for 45 years. Drinking was the pump every single day, keeping the water just low enough to cope. When you quit drinking, you turn the pump off, but the cracks are still there. The mould hasn't magically fucking vanished. The foundations haven't repaired themselves. You're sober, standing ankle deep in water, wondering why life still feels fucking hard. And that's where people get lost. Not because they're broken, because they were told that stopping was enough. Most advice keeps people standing, staring at their glass. I had to stop looking at the alcohol and start looking at the wiring. Because behaviour doesn't come from character. It comes from the state. When pressure hits and the system is overloaded, people don't choose badly. They default. That's why willpower works for a bit and then it collapses. Willpower is finite, systems are not. I didn't need motivation, I didn't need slogans. I didn't need to be told to stay strong. I needed to understand what was actually happening inside me before the urge ever showed up again. What emotion was rising? What sensation was I trying to avoid? What alcohol had been managing quietly for decades? That shift changed everything. Not fighting the urge, not suppressing it, observing it. If you're sober but struggling or thinking about quitting and quietly terrified of what's underneath, start here. For the next 24 hours, once every hour, ask yourself one question. What am I trying not to feel right now? That's it. No fixing, no judging, no analysing, just notice it. Boredom, loneliness, irritation, restlessness. That low-level unease you've been running from, you cannot rewire a response you refuse to face. Sobriety stops the damage. It doesn't automatically rebuild the structure. Rewiring is what changes how you respond to life itself. I didn't quit drinking and want to feel better. I rebuilt how I feel better and how I deal with pressure, emotion and silence. And that's the difference. Sobriety isn't the finish line, it's the point where the real work fucking finally starts. And if this hit you, you're not weak, you're not broken. You've just been running an old system that no longer works.